Bro, new Zane Lvl event. I'm so excited. I'm finally gonna get Cyber Dragon. Cyber End Dragon, Cyber Dark Dragon. Wait, where's Cyber Dragon? We can get Cyber Dragon, right? Come on, Konami, stop playing with me. I know Cyber Dragon's in there somewhere. Come on, dude. Wait, what? What? Konami, what? What's going on, people? Gunsblazing back at it again and bring you another farm video. We're going to talk more about the whole Cyber Dragon controversy at the end of the video, but for now I'm sure most of you are dying to farm the Zane Lvl dude, get all of his cards that don't include Cyber Dragon. So here's what I went with: the good old Legendary Fisherman free-to-play farming deck. Reason that I went with this deck is because he has direct attackers and high attack fusions, so this deals with both of those problems. As you may already know, the combo is Legendary Ocean, Legendary Fisherman, and Spirit Barrier. I was fortunate enough to get all of these in my starting hand, and once you have that, you're safe until the farm turn where you finish them off. Obviously, you're not always going to get the combo in your starting hand, but don't worry about it too much because they did change up Zane's deck where it's not as dangerous as last time. Like, he could finish you off on turn 2. His deck right now usually takes quite a few turns to finish you off. So that gives you a lot of time to pop your Legacy of Yata-Garasu, pop your Crystal Seers, and usually you're going to have the full combo by then. Some of you might have noticed that the old version of this deck had Restart as well as a Fusion, but Restart is nerfed now, so I'm just using Beatdown to get over 10,000 attack, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a bit. But yeah, Restart isn't completely necessary now. Like, we don't absolutely have to have the full combo in our starting hand. You can also use Life Point Boost A if you want to survive a little longer. Or if you want more consistency in pulling the combo, you can use Destiny Draw or Duel Standby. Anyways, as you can see, this deck doesn't have any Ultra Rares or Super Rares that are from packs. You can pick up Legendary Fisherman just by farming Mako. I did pick up 3 prismatic copies of Legendary Fisherman using some of my KC Cup tickets, seeing as there weren't really too many good ultra rare prismatic cards that you could choose from, so you know, why not flex a little on the AI while you're farming them and get some more bonus points while you're at it. Legendary Ocean you can pick up from the card trader, and Legacy of Yata-Garasu you can pick up with PvP tickets, or you can just use Jar of Greed. Another reason this deck works pretty nicely is because you have Spirit Barrier, and so if you set your Crystal Seers and he happens to have a piercing monster, it won't matter because since you have a monster on the board, Spirit Barrier is going to protect you from any incoming damage. He's going to use Polymerization, fuse it up, but this does not matter a single bit. Even if he uses what's called Power Bond, none of his fusion monsters can actually do anything to you if you have the full combo out on the board. I don't really attack into his stuff even though I can. I mean, you could, but there's no point because you're probably going to get 8,000 points anyway. And also, you don't want to be attacking into a face-down Exploder Dragon and then end up destroying one of your Legendary Fishermen. Alright, so here's a little thing I do when I pick up a 3rd Legendary Fisherman. I already have 2 on the board and an extra Legendary Ocean. If you're unsure if you're going to get 8,000 points, you can do this. So just set the extra Legendary Ocean so that you can tribute summon for another Legendary Fisherman. And then don't forget to activate the Legendary Ocean that you set so that they cannot attack your Legendary Fisherman. Anyways, just going to fast forward a little bit because this is pretty straightforward. Just keep passing until you get the full combo. I did pick up the full combo early, but I'm just going to play it out until the last turn for the people with OCD. Here we go. Summon the Gravekeeper's Vassal. It's a good practice to always use your Secret Pass first, especially in this one. You never want to use Secret Pass before you use Beatdown, because Secret Pass requires the monster to be, I think, 1,000 or below, or else you can't use it on them. So yeah, Double Union, Beatdown! And this is going to boost everything on the field by 600 because you have 2 level 5 Legendary Fishermen on the board. And if you're not using Beatdown, you can easily just use something like Blustering Winds, or anything that raises a monster's attack by 1,000. Put it on one of the Legendary Fishermen's, and then that will also get you over 10,000 attack on your Gravekeeper's Vassal. Oh yeah, there's a little campaign bonus for 1,000 points right now, so you don't really have to go all out with, you know, fusing and attacking monsters to get extra points. You're going to get over 8,000 anyways, so it doesn't matter. I do get 10,000 here, but that's because of all the prismatics. Again, I'm not trying to flex on you, but I kind of am. Oh yeah, and this also gets you a handful of event points. So around 180,000 for me. And Zane is unlocked once you hit 600,000 points. So I already unlocked them. It only takes about like 3 or 4 good farms before you unlock them. By the way, they have this new thing called boosters, and basically they make the farm easier for you. You can add an assessment boost. That's not really needed if you're fighting Zane on the field because it's an underworld duel or something. That gives you extra points if you beat him anyway. But you can give yourself extra lethal protection. And you can add an extra card from outside of your deck, a powerful card, which you're going to see in this duel. I won't spoil you though. I'm going to let you see it for yourself. But anyways, more important things at hand. A lot of people are pissed that you can't unlock Cyber Dragon. Now, is this just some senseless whining, or do people actually have the right to be genuinely salty that we don't have Cyber Dragon yet? I mean, we've seen a Zane event like 3 times already. You would think that Konami would give us at least one Cyber Dragon, right? Even just one. And you know, as for me, I don't really see why they wouldn't release Cyber Dragon. Like, if they were scared about balance issues it would bring, they could just release one copy to prevent it from being too dominant and consistent, or at least put in one of Zane's skills. But in my opinion, even if they fully free Cyber Dragon at 3 copies, it still wouldn't break the game, you know? Like, yeah, it's pretty busted that you can special summon it if you have no monsters on the field, and then you can do some crazy stuff with beatdown and whatnot. But we already have archetypes that do that anyway, like skill hires. And skill hire boss monsters have additional effects compared to Cyber Dragon, which is just, you know, special summonable, but it doesn't actually do anything. So yeah, I can definitely see the frustration here. I can definitely understand the salt from the community about not getting their Cyber Dragon. Either way, I just think it wasn't a good move from Konami to not release Cyber Dragon. And not just in terms of, you know, not pissing people off, catering to their fan base, but for the health of their game in general. Now, being a content creator, I can see the trends and the analytics behind this. Actually, you know, scratch that. Pretty much anyone with common sense can see that whenever a character's signature card is released, or any card or archetype with a lot of hype behind it, whenever something like that is released, it brings new life into the game. You know, people are actually interested in that kind of thing. It's going to get new players going, but mostly it's going to keep the current players engaged, and it's going to bring the inactive players that have either quit or stopped playing for a while back into the game. Okay, hold up. That was kind of an overkill farm. If Jesse is on the world map, you pretty much can just auto-duel him with a strong deck, and you'll get a huge bonus anyways from Underworld Duel victory. But yeah, anyways, that's one of the easiest ways to get people to care about the game and breed some fresh interest for it. You know, just releasing some cards that have some hype behind it and that people actually care about. As opposed to what they did here, which is arguably they just released a bunch of cards that nobody really cares about. And people are actually getting pissed and or leaving the game just because Konami wouldn't be a bro about it and just unleash the cyber booty upon us. But, you know, let me tell you guys something. There should always be a balance whenever I rant about these things. Because while it is good to speak out on Duel Links issues, and perhaps influence Konami, use my influence to make Konami change some things positively for their game, it's also not healthy to abuse my influence per se and pretty much, you know, bully or force Konami to bend their game and comply to whatever I want or whatever the community wants, the changes that their player base wants to make. As far as I know, Konami does make some efforts to listen to their player feedback. Sometimes they do make good changes. Sometimes it takes long for them to make changes for the better. And sometimes they completely ignore any kind of suggestion and do absurd things like continuously decreasing the gem income from various sources, which, by the way, I will talk about sooner or later in a bigger video, focusing on a lot more of the problems that Duel Links has right now, but it's just that I want to focus more on things related to Cyber Dragon and the actual event at this time. So here's the thing. Even though we didn't get Cyber Dragon, we still did get a lot of new content with being able to unlock Zane and a lot of his new level up cards. You can get more gems now, although they did reduce Zane's gems by like 300 from the average duelist. So that's up to you whether you want to be thankful that you can get like 2,500 more gems or salty that you're getting 300 less than you would have. I will agree though that a lot of these new cards at first glance seem really garbo, but at least we have some new stuff to play with. There's that one new Zane skill that I'm particularly interested in that can summon one monster for each 1,000 damage you took. That could be spicy. All in all, I'm kind of cheesed that I can't get Cyber Dragon, just like a lot of you guys. Konami did shoot themselves in the foot by holding back on releasing it again. But you know, it's not the end of the world. Like, we did get some new content. It doesn't mean we're not going to get Cyber Dragon in the future. Konami, in the end, it's your game. You guys get to decide what to do with it. You don't have to listen to every single thing that the Duel Links community has to say. But at the same time, lately there's been a lot of controversial moves and updates. And if Duel Links is going to survive long term, then you really do got to take into account these problems that the players are complaining about. The community has to be careful to not get too entitled, but Konami, you gotta let us know that you care somehow, my boy. Like, man, convince us that you actually care about your players and that it's not all about the money. I mean, we know it's all about the money, but at least make it seem like it's not sometimes. Guys, leave your thoughts and comments down below if you want. That's all the talk I got for today. Have yourselves a good one, guys, and this is Guns Blazing, signing out.
Sunset high and our bodies low, blood rush in a hazy glow. My hands, your bones, loose up, we break the scene. One step deep as you fall to me. Hot clap, we skip a beat. Count 1, 2, 3. And don't you stop the music, get into it. Won't you dance with me? Find your place and lose it. You can do it. Won't you dance with me?